A blessing evening from the radio service of Kear Communications Network Incorporated. A blessing evening from the radio service of Kear Communications Network Incorporated. Welcome to the 6 p.m. edition of Kear Newsline, a 45 minutes of news presentation of happiness in Liberia and other parts of the world. In our headlines, scores of motorcyclists demand reconsideration of NMP's restriction on plying major streets in Monrovia, informing Ministry of Justice and international partners about its planned mass tree protests. Amid efforts to ensure adherence to labor laws in Liberia, Ministry of Labor declares no budgetary support. Minister Cooper Crow attributes the nightmare to the ministry's inability to tackle issues of child labor. Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency denies allegation of providing manpower to former Deputy Director General for Operations during a tussle with AFL personnel. Clarifies there is no conflict with the army. In foreign news, at least 46 people have been killed and 10 others injured after a Sudanese military plane crashed in a residential neighborhood in Abdulman, the twin city of the capital Khartoum, state media says. The duties of these plus other developments are packaged on this edition of the program. Please, Tom. Many thanks for rejoining us on the program. The bulletin of news is next from the News Center with Princess Kamara. Good evening, Princess.
Good evening, Aloysius. The Supreme Motorcycle Transport Union of Liberia has petitioned the Ministry of Justice and international partners in relation to its planned protest scheduled for Monday, March 3, 2025. The motorcyclists in the petition urge government to see reasons to uplift the ban on motorcyclists and release motorbikes in possession of the Liberian National Police. The group's spokesperson Chokon Gray stressed the need for government to uplift such ban in order for motorcyclists to cater to their respective families. The motorcyclists in its petition noted that since the temporary ban, they are yet to provide for their families, noting that such ban is unlawful and a breach of democracy. Receiving the petition on behalf of the Ministry of Justice, the Director of Communications, Jutun Kwali, assures the group of a speedy response. He cautioned the group to remain peaceful, underscoring the need for motorcyclists to collaborate and work closely with the LNP. Labour Minister Cooper Pratt has described low budgetary support for national government as obstacles to ensuring the Ministry of Labour tackle issues of child labour in Liberia. Speaking on the radio talk show on Wednesday, Labour Minister Cooper Pratt disclosed the lack of sufficient funds from government is a contributing factor to the Ministry of Labour inability and efficiency to deal with child labor in the country. According to him, with the needed budgetary support, inspectors and task force of the Ministry of Labor will be sent in the field to remove street selling underage children from the street. He further emphasized the underage children who will be taken from the streets need to empower to do something in order to prevent them from going back to selling in the streets. Meanwhile, the labor minister admitted to employing Liberians based on recommendation from Unity Party Alliance members, senators, and other government officials. He argued that those employed that have been productive in executing the mandate of the Ministry of Labor and strengthening the workforce, adding that their employment was in the interest of the government. The Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency has denied allegation of dispatching officers based on calls from former Deputy Director General for Operations during a tussle with AFL personnel. In a release issued on Wednesday, Regional Commander of Mosorado County Agent Clarence Clark allegedly received a call from Special Agent Amos Moore who requested backup due to an alleged attack on him and Agent James Nelson near the Greystone Bricks factory in Peaceville. According to the press release, Special Agent Clark dispatched a team of 10 LDA officers led by the agent Melvin Myers to rescue agents Moore and Nelson based on the nature of the call received. The release further stated that LDA officers later withdrew from the scene after noticing the situation was not LDA related, but rather involved a staff of the Armed Forces of Liberia Deputy Director General for Operations Hassan Fadiga, along with his twin brother. Meanwhile, the LDEA emphasized that there exists no conflict between the armed forces of Liberia and the LDEA, urging the public to exercise caution when information. The LDEA showed the public of a prompt investigation to ascertain circumstances and intent behind Special Agent Amos Moore alleged call for these threats. A woman identified as Kuma Wilson is pleading for justice over the death of her son, Ishmael Cottier. The deceased Ishmael was arrested and taken to the Rehab Zone 8 police station on Thursday, February 20, after a heated argument with a man in his community. Speaking to journalists, the mother of the victim, Kuma Wilson, says she received a call late Tuesday that her son falls off in the cell and was taken to a health facility for treatment. According to her, upon her arrival at the police station, she was told that her son has died, something she says needs to be investigated. Madam Wilson called that since her son was taken at the Zone 8 police depot, she's been visiting him prior to his demise. She wants the government to investigate what led to the death of her son Ishmael while in police custody. The government of Liberia has officially launched its fifth open government partnership at the Monrovia City Hall. The launch is part of government reaffirmation of its commitment to transparency, accountability, and citizens' engagement in government. The Open Government Partnership was introduced in Liberia 2011, a global initiative aimed to promote open governance and strengthen public participation in decision making. Speaking at the launch of Senate Pro Tempore Yumli Kanga Lawrence emphasized the importance of inclusive governance, urging citizens to take full advantage of the initiatives. She reiterated government's dedication to fostering transparency and ensuring public officials remains accountable. She added that the initiative is a key pillar of national development, aligned with President Joseph Waka's commitment to transparency in governance. Pro tempore Yomli stressed that citizens' participation in governance process is crucial, adding that the fifth open government partnership will serve as a cornerstone for achieving accountability. Representing the OGB Global, Tariq Nash commends the Liberian government for its unwavering commitment to accountability and transparency. Nash urged the government to uphold its commitment to an open partnership with all stakeholders to ensure accountability in our sector. He at the same time urged the government to engage a civil society, international partners, and citizens to be actively involved in the governance process. And Information Minister Jeremy Kear has described the launch of the Open Government Partnership as a milestone achievement for Liberia's national development agenda. Minister Pia says the initiative fosters openness in governments and citizens' participation. He further extended appreciation to Liberia's Chief Justice for dedication to the process, reinforcing the government's pledge to uphold transparency and accountability. Minister Pia maintained that the government remains committed to ensure to issue of transparency and to ensure the country's integrity institutions are fully empowered to execute their statutory mandate. He added that without openness and transparency in the government process, Liberia's democratic credentials will not be an example for other countries to follow. That's the latest from the bulletin.
Princess Kamara and the news bulletin, one of the regular features on Kear News Line, especially at 6 p.m. One of our top stories, scores of motorcyclists demand reconsideration of LMP's restriction applying major streets in Monrovia, informing the Ministry of Justice and international partners about its planned March 3 protests. Let's bring you the voices of those making the news. Labour Minister Cooper Cross described low budgetary support from international government as obstacle to ensuring the Ministry of Labour tackle issues of child labour in Liberia. Speaking on the radio talk show Wednesday, Labour Minister Cooper Crow disclosed the lack of sufficient funds from government is a contributing factor to the Ministry of Labour inability and inefficiency due to deal with child labour in the country.
Expect that the employers will begin to look at the phone. If you know that you did your registration last year, January, now your renewal is due. So we look forward to this year to sit in the office and see people coming to renew instead of waiting for us to go to their doorstep. And these are a lot of things that we're doing. But as we go through, we come on a little more and more. But we have a lot of other divisions. Gender inclusion, for example. We have division with gender inclusion. And we work very closely with the gender ministry. We have a director that works very closely on having child labor, for example. We have a division that deals with that. And we work in collaboration with the Ministry of Gender. That there are certain jobs that you are not supposed to allow children to do. One of the problems we have is the one way we can get some strong budgetary support. You will see Ministry of Labor, inspectors, and task force out there. If you saw children underage selling between cars and say we want to remove them, but we think that they will remove them, that should be placed to carry them. So we look forward to more engagement with the government, more possibility of budgetary allotment official, so that all of these will be addressed. So it can't just be like say something, but we like to do something so that people can see the real impact of some of the activities of the ministry.
Meanwhile, the Labour Minister admitted to employing Liberians based on recommendations from the Unity Party Alliance members, senators, and other government officials.
After the election, there was alliance political parties won the election. For us, for those of us who were able to get appointed in these positions, there were recommendations. People want us to have how to say employ people. Senators made recommendations, representatives made recommendations. Yes, we brought some people, but all those people brought have been taken care of. That's why last year we were able to collect more than $9 million because we had people who were ready to go out the extra mile to do some work for the government. They were excited that we came to take care of all of them. We're working gradually around the clock to make sure that most of them that have not been absorbed will be absorbed. But the government must work. I mean, if you talk about a ministry like Ministry of Labor and you say, look, there's no employment. Sometimes you might not sure to do something we are doing. So we did something that was in the interest of the government. know that the president made promises, okay, look, we have there will be job opportunity and things like that. It's not the president that won't happen to Sinai or different ministries and agencies of government. We have to reach out there. So the children that work that will in the sun, in the rain, in the cold water, we have to find something for them to do. That's what we did. And yes, that you can do that. If you are accused of a criminal offense in your workplace.
Liberia's Labor Minister, Councillor Cooper Crab. Information Minister Jalemic Kear has described the launch of the Open Government Partnership as a milestone achievement for Liberia's national development agenda. Minister Kear said the initiative fosters openness in governance and citizens' participation. He further extended appreciation in Liberia's Chief Justice for her dedication to the process, reinforcing the government's pledge to uphold transparency and accountability. He spoke at the launch of his fifth Open Government Partnership in Monrovia Wednesday.
And today marks a significant moment in the government of Liberia's drive to openness and transparency in its programs and activities. And that is at the launch of the fifth National Action Plan on the Open Government Partnership. We would not have achieved such a milestone without the collaboration of key government institutions, Liberia Business Registry, Liberia Revenue Authority, the Public Procurement and Concession Commission, and our esteemed collaborators from the judicial branch of Liberia, and the National Steering Committee, as well as all civil society organizations for their selfless effort and invaluable contributions to the development of the fifth National Action Plan. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to assure you that the government of Liberia remains committed to adhering to all standards of governance transparency and will ensure that the country's integrity institutions are fully empowered to execute their statutory mandates. This is because without openness and transparency in the government process, Liberia's democratic credentials will not be an example for other countries to follow.
Information Minister Jalemic Kear. A woman identified as Kamara Wilson is pleading for justice over the death of her son Ishmael Kotiel. For speaking to journalists, the mother of the victim, Kamara Wilson, said she received a call late Tuesday that her son fell off in the cell and was taken to a health facility for treatment. According to her, upon her arrival at the police station, she was told that her son has died, something she said needs to be investigated. Here now is Kamara Wilson speaking.
Last time, he friend for, they get into the station. So when they get there, my son heard him. We went there, they say, "More way." I say, "I beg you, Papa. We get nobody. So you pay him. Let me take the boy off. Then we can able to see to it. And the expensive will pay it. But each time when we go, they say, your way. When we go, your way. When we go, your way. Just imagine from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, today, Wednesday, and today are 6 days. I said, well, what happened? The morning when I went out, they can't tell me, he said, your son was putting war last night. So they call me his last night. The hour, he said, I should go sign for my son. I said, no, they criminal rape. And I ever that like this, they bring him back in a ladle. I said, no, I can't go there. Maybe. So I said, I can't make it. But they keep on calling that I sent the daycare. The daycare went. They said the daycare son for the man. Then they call their uncle. Iwe go there too. They say, Iwe will not son. That morning we went out, they got there up. He said the man was butting war, so he went off. I said, you can't tell me that one. Yesterday we were here. Then the morning now you call me last night. Then the morning now you say the man butting war all over his skin. He went off, you're rushing to the hospital. Why you not call me? He said, oh, so thing happened with your son. We're rushing him to the hospital. The army give them the policemen all of us went down. Before now, he said the man who does I say you can't tell me. I want to see my son then with thing in a boy.
Kamara saying in a conversation with Kear News. As part of efforts to uplift the temporary ban placed on motorcyclists, several motorcyclists under the banner of Supreme Motorcycle Transport Union of Liberia has petitioned the Ministry of Justice and other international partners about displaying protests scheduled for Monday, March 3, 2025. The motorcyclists in a petition urged government to see reasons to uplift ban placed on motorcyclists and release motorbikes in the possession of the Liberia National Police. The group's spokesperson Trokon Gray stressed the need for government to uplift such ban in order for motorcyclists to cater to their respective families. Here's a group president Trokon Gray with the petition.
What they are influenced by with the law, their lesson, their router lesson, or the law lesson of this is, and their mass will be given back to them. They will give them the seed method that is applied to car drivers. When you do traffic violation, they will take your driver lesson and they issue you ticket and take care of your car. When you pay them money from them, you come for your lesson. The police are going to agree with us that that same method will be applied to us. Sadly, our people is reporting violation. The police will seize the motorcycle document, seize the child lesson, turn around and seize the motorbike. Our own peace. The one of them will call that. They are almost brothers and sisters. You are talking about what 200,000. The justice ministry specifically should do everything in about those my part. The information that we have access to can easily get and tell you for free. How is doing experience? But around motorcycle are either our people that you don't have access to. So, I said, all my motorcycle I get to put this story out of the report to go you want. So, I saw all my carrying passenger and discussing the last time we have seen. So, you can't easily have that information that we will go and do. Yes, so I can see it here now and tell you again. If any government official in the country, your social error, your baby.
Trokon Gray, head of the Supreme Motorcycle Transport Union of Liberia, receiving the petition on behalf of the Ministry of Justice. The Director of Communications, Jutono Koli, assured the group of a speedy response. He cautioned the group to remain peaceful, underscoring the need for motorcyclists to collaborate and work closely with the Liberia National Police.
Your message. I know you got a written petition. We are going to relay to the office of the minister. The current minister is not in country. We will have his able lieutenant here. Everything are here, and we will ensure you that you will get justice. Be peaceful. After your petition, after you have presented a petition to the military, we want you to march back home. Control your name. Yes. The police are your friends. We are our friends. We are working for you. The morning when we are coming here, we are working on behalf of you. We are one of you. Yes. We all want the development of our country. So, I'm also like you. What we need in this country is the rule of law. Once we are all empowered by the rule of law, including this sitting here today.
Director of Communications at the Ministry of Justice, Jutono Kodi, receiving petition on behalf of the Ministry of Justice. You are listening to the 6 p.m. edition of Kear Newsline on this Wednesday, February 26, 2025. My name is Aloysius. In our top stories, schools of motorcyclists demand reconsideration of LP's restriction on plying major streets in Monrovia, informing the Ministry of Justice and international partners about its planned March 3 protests. Amid efforts to ensure adherence to labor's law in Liberia, Ministry of Labor declares low budgetary support. Minister Cooper Pratt attributes the net man to the ministry's inability to tackle issues of child labor. Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency denies allegation of providing manpower to former Deputy Director General for Operations during a tussle with AFL personnel. Clarifies there is no conflict with the army. In foreign news, at least 46 people killed and 10 others injured after a Sudanese military plane crashed in a residential neighborhood in Abdulman, the twin capital of the twin city of the capital Khartoum, state media says. We take a break to be back with more developments. Many thanks for joining us. The government of Liberia has officially launched its fifth open government partnership with the Monrovia City Hall. The Open Government Partnership was introduced in Liberia in 2011, a global initiative aimed to promote open governance and strengthen public participation in decision making. Speaking at the launch, Senate Pro Tempore Yombly Kanya Lawrence emphasized the importance of inclusive governance, urging citizens to take full advantage of the initiative.
And a profound sense of commitment to democracy, transparency, and accountable governance. And I stand before you today to launch Liberia's fifth National Action Plan of the Open Government, ensuring the government structure supporting those development priorities remain transparent, accountable, and people-centered. The fifth National Action Plan of the Open Government Partnership aligns seamlessly with the arrest agenda reinforcing fiscal discipline, good governance, and accountability. By promoting open budgets, transparent procurement processes, and citizen oversight, we are ensuring that public resources are utilized effectively and for the benefit of all Liberians. Corruption remains a major impediment to national progress. It erodes public trust, stifles economic development, and deprives citizens of essential services. His Excellency President Joseph Mubarak has made the fight against corruption a central pillar of his administration. It was this vision of integrity, accountability, and good governance that brought this government to power, and we remain unwavering in our commitment to delivering on this promise. The Open Government Partnership serves as a critical tool in this fight. Through the initiatives online in this fifth National Action Plan, we are strengthening anti-corruption mechanism, enhancing transparency in public finance, and promoting ethical leadership. Most importantly, we are ensuring that the Liberian people have a meaningful role in governance by creating platforms for dialogue, participation, and oversight.
Senate Pro Tempore Yombly Kanya Lawrence speaking at the Monrovia City Hall, representing the OGP Global. Tariq Nedge commended the Liberian government for its unwavering commitment to accountability and transparency. Nedge urged the government to uphold its commitment to an open partnership with all stakeholders to ensure accountability in all sectors.
A promise that the government will serve on the integrity, that the civil society will remain engaged in meaningful dialogue and collaboration, and the partners will stand with solidarity for the good and prosperity of the nation. Transparency is the foundation of trust between citizens and governments. This is why we invite you to deepen Liberia's commitment to transparency, accountability, and citizen participation through the OGP process. The new OGP National Action Plan, just like it was shared, includes commitment in open contracting, beneficial ownership, strengthening integrity institution, and infrastructure transparency. These are all key areas that will drive reform. Open government can be a catalyst of development for Liberia. This is why I propose to integrate open government principles into Liberia's 2024-2029 development plan, the IRS agenda for inclusive development. This would help all governments can accelerate progress in these sectors. I would like to share some international experience for inspiration. In agriculture, countries like Mexico and Brazil have engaged farmers in participatory rural development programs with these regional events. These are also programs for awards opportunities for innovative practices.
Open Government Project Global Representative Tariq Nage. President Joseph Walker has lauded the leadership at the Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation for what he termed as significant work done within his government. Speaking during the dedication ceremony of a main water supply system in Barbados County, the president said the leadership at the LWSC clearly demonstrates its ability to deliver.
Media, ladies and gentlemen, I know that we are here to do this dedication, but I must admit to you that this is the first time I feel so happy with the kind of leadership I'm seeing in Apple. You may not believe it, but for many years, and they're fighting to get the government away from this country. Even when there were opportunities to extend programs here, that division to fight this country. And I'm very serious about it. And I've been disturbed. At least this is the first time I've seen, in spite of all the problems we have, that people are now getting together to think about this county. This county was first statutory county in this country. But look how it looks like. You are a rich country, the county, and yet so underdeveloped. The Minister of Education gave me the report. Bapolu is among the 7 counties where there's a high level of under registration of school going children. And of course, they tell the story.
President Joseph Walker is speaking at the dedication ceremony of the mini water supply system in Barbados County. Here, another development, the managing director of the Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation, Mohamed Ali, has outlined reason for the construction of a pipeline water within Barbados County. Mohamed Ali said such move is intended at improving the lives of citizens in the county. Speaking during a ceremony of the dedication of a main water supply in the county, the LWSC boss said the need for citizens to get access to safe drinking water in order for a healthy society.
Who asked about bringing water to the people of Bobolo City? The exact words were, small brother, my people in Bobolo have never seen a running water. It will be a good thing for you to carry water there. And I told him, Mr. Senator, the ball is in your court. The legislature controls the budget. So if you can lobby with your colleagues in the Senate to have some money in the budget, I promise we will take water to Bobolo City for you. The next time he called, he announced to me that there was 250,000 US dollar placed in the budget to construct a water system in Bobolo. And I told him, Senator Conner, that is a drop in the ocean. However, we will start the process and will depend on the county and other members of the legislative caucus to lobby in the future to extend the project. But we accepted the challenge. And then immediately after that, there were doubts
about whether the project will go on. In fact, there were accusations that Senator Connell had placed this money in a budget through the Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation to withdraw the money to pocket it for himself. So every now and then, Mr. President, Senator Connell will call and ask about the progress of this project. So we were updating him consistently the day we did the groundbreaking when we started the construction of everything.
Managing Director of the Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation, Mohamed Ali. At the same time, Bapadu County District 1 representatives in Anama lauded the work of the Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation.
Through the role to come to Bapadu County Public Sector, Mr. President. I want to say thank you again for giving us great roles to come to our city. Thank you, Mr. President. But we have some challenges along the road, Mr. President. I think you drove the car along the way to come Bambama. There's a personal place, it's a distrust for our people in Bambama County Boguru District, Mr. President. I want to say to you, Mr. President, the outgoing kids that work with a school and program bridge, call our children, it's very risky for our children that go to that school every now and then, people die from the President. A good show. We are trying to go to the universities of the program. That is very terrible for our citizens.
Barbado County District 1 Representative Zina Nomo. The Executive Director of the Integrity Watch Liberia has stressed the need for the private sector CSOs in the government to connect efforts aimed at curbing corruption, increase accountability, and strengthen good governance in natural resources sectors in the country. Harold Edo said combined effort is needed to ensure that ordinary citizens benefit from the natural resources in the country in the wake of the cut in international assistance from the United States, Britain, and other European countries. Mr. Adu made this assertion when he spoke at the opening of a one-day policy dialogue on strengthening inclusive governance and accountability in Liberia's natural resources sector in Monrovia on Wednesday.
As a country, I strongly believe that we are at an inflection point. We are at an inflection point, in my opinion, for a number of reasons. We are at a point in our nation where we just launched our new development framework, which is the arrest agenda for inclusive development. And this project strengthening inclusive governance and accountability in our arrest agenda sector.
We sincerely apologize for that. The Liberia Diamond Gold and Mineral Brokers Union Incorporated will on Thursday conduct a special prayer service for peace among its members for prosperity in the gold and diamond business and peace and sources of the government. The chairman of the board of the union, Omaru Sangari, disclosed that in the last 10 years there has been massive decline in the discovery of gold and diamond, and there is a need to pray for God's divine intervention. Speaking in an interview with the station in Monrovia on Wednesday, Mr. Sangari said the Minister of Mines and Energy, Wilmot P., and other prominent officials will grace the occasion. We again apologize. Let's quickly bring you the foreign development. At least 46 people have been killed and 10 others injured after a Sudanese military plane crashed in a residential neighborhood in Abdulman, the twin city of the capital Khartoum, state media says. The Antonov aircraft came down after takeoff from the military's Wadi Sakna air base on Tuesday evening, killing military officers and civilians. The cause of the crash is unclear, but military sources have been quoted as saying that it was likely to have been a technical malfunction. The crash came a day after the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, which is at war with the army, said it had downed a fighter jet in South Darfur. The conflict has devastated large parts of Sudan, including Khartoum and Abdulman, with thousands of people killed and about 12 million displaced. The health ministry said the emergency teams brought injured civilians, including children, to a nearby hospital following Tuesday's plane crash. A senior army commander in Khartoum was among those killed, Reuters news agency quoted unnamed military sources as saying. Witnesses said there was a loud explosion and several homes were damaged when the plane came down, the AFP news agency reports. The crash also caused power outage in neighboring neighborhoods, it added. Sudan has been hit by a civil war since April 2023 when the army and the RSF became involved in a vigorous power shuffle.
Don't, don't read it, a mistake. You know, me making it right.
Well, listeners, on that note, we wound down the curtains on this May week with the presentation of our 6 p.m. edition of Care Newsline. Before we go, a quick reminder of the top stories. Scores of motorcycle demand reconsideration of LMP's restriction applying major speeds in Monrovia, reforming Ministry of Justice and international partners about its planned March 3 protests. Amid efforts to ensure adherence to labor laws in Liberia, Ministry of Labor declares low budgetary support. Minister Cooper Cry attributes the nightmare to the ministry's inability to tackle issues of child labor. Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency denies allegation of providing manpower to a former Deputy Director General for Operations during a tussle with AFL personnel. Clarifies that there exists no conflict with the army. Away from Liberia, at least 46 people killed and 10 others injured after a Sudanese military plane crashed in a residential neighborhood in Abdulman, the twin city of the capital Khartoum, state media says. The details of these plus other developments will be brought you on this Wednesday's edition of Kia Newsline. On behalf of the entire news team, many thanks to all of you for playing your usual listening role. Many thanks to our reporters and editors for their role in this presentation. Princess Kamara read for us the news bulletin from the news center. James Wokwe produced the sound and made sure we were visualized on this edition of the program. On behalf of the entire news team, my name is Aloysius Chea. I present it. Good evening.